The Last Letter, a timeless love story. In the charming village of Windermere, surrounded by rolling hills and serene lakes, stood an old stone cottage that had witnessed generations of love stories. The cottage, with its ivy-clad walls and flower-filled garden, belonged to Margaret, an elderly woman known for her kind heart and captivating tales. Margaret had spent her entire life in Windermere, her days filled with the simple joys of tending to her garden and sharing tea with friends. But there was one story she had never told, a love story that was as beautiful as it was heartbreaking.
In the summer of 1946, a young Margaret had met Thomas, a dashing soldier who had returned from the war. Thomas was staying with his aunt in Windermere, hoping to find peace after the horrors he had witnessed. Their meeting was serendipitous, a chance encounter at the village market that quickly blossomed into a deep and profound love.
Margaret and Thomas spent every moment they could together, their love growing with each passing day. They would walk hand in hand by the lake, share whispered secrets under the ancient oak tree, and dance under the stars to the melodies of nature. Thomas, who had seen so much darkness, found light in Margaret's smile, and Margaret, who had always dreamt of a love like in the novels she read, found her heart's desire in Thomas. But as summer turned to autumn, Thomas received news that he was to be deployed once more, this time to aid in the post-war reconstruction efforts in Europe. Their time together was cut short, and with a heavy heart, Thomas promised Margaret that he would return. He gave her a locket, inside of which was a small handwritten note. "Until we meet again." For months, Margaret waited for Thomas's letters, each one filled with hope and love. But one day, the letters stopped coming. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, but there was no word from Thomas. Margaret feared the worst, but she never gave up hope, clutching the locket and the promise it held close to her heart. Years passed, and Margaret continued with her life, always carrying the memory of Thomas with her. She never married, her heart forever belonging to the soldier who had stolen it one summer in Windermere. She turned her cottage into a haven for love stories, collecting letters, poems, and photographs from villagers who had their own tales to tell. One crisp autumn day, as Margaret was sorting through her collection, she received a package from a man named Samuel, who claimed to have something that belonged to her. Curiosity piqued, she opened the package to find a bundle of letters, old and worn, but unmistakably from Thomas. The letters revealed the truth of what had happened. Thomas had been injured in an accident and had lost his memory. For years he lived in a small village in France, unaware of his past and the love he had left behind. It wasn't until recently, when a kindly old librarian helped him piece together his past, that he remembered Margaret and the promise he had made. The final letter in the bundle was from Thomas, written with trembling hands. He apologized for the years they had lost and expressed his undying love for her. He had wanted to return to Windermere, but his health had deteriorated rapidly. Samuel, the librarian's grandson, had promised Thomas to deliver the letters to Margaret. Tears streamed down Margaret's face as she read the letters, her heart aching for the lost years but filled with love for the man who had never forgotten her. She felt a bittersweet joy knowing that Thomas had loved her until the end, even if they had been separated by fate. In the days that followed, the village of Windermere came together to honour Margaret and Thomas's love story. Samuel, touched by the tale, helped Margaret compile the letters and memories into a book, The Last Letter, which became a cherished part of the village's history. Margaret lived the rest of her days with a renewed sense of peace, knowing that true love never dies, even if it is tested by time and distance. And every evening, as the sun set over Windermere, she would sit by the lake, the locket in her hand, and whisper to the wind, "Until we meet again, my love." Their love story, immortalized in the last letter, became a beacon of hope and enduring love, reminding everyone that true love is timeless and that even the deepest separations cannot sever the bonds of the heart.
If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more like it, please subscribe to my channel. By subscribing, you'll be the first to hear new love stories, share in the emotions, and keep the spirit of timeless romance alive. Hit that subscribe button and don't forget to like and share this video with others who believe in the power of true love. Together, let's keep these beautiful stories alive. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next story. Remember, love is timeless, and so are the stories we share.